Okay, moved into the studio here. Desarian asks, how do you feel about the newest Transport Canada proposed regulation or legislation changes surrounding drones? I read a rumor that they were considering removing the insurance requirements for non-complex flights. Also, the new legislation would change classifications so that commercial flights wouldn't be treated any differently than hobbyist flights. How would this affect your operations? Okay, so we'll get to how I feel in just a second. I read a rumor that they were considering removing the insurance requirements. That rumor might be false. So far, Part 9, the proposal for Part IX or Part 9, is to maintain insurance requirements. You still have to have insurance even if you're a recreational flyer, minimum 100,000. So just based on the size of your drone, I think if you're over 250 grams, then you need insurance, which will likely be a thing. And I don't really have any feelings on that either way. I'm not really a recreational flyer. I feel like it is wise to have insurance if you're flying like a Phantom or a Maverick or something, because you could cause damage. But at the same time, if you're just going to fly in the boonies, if you're just chasing yourself around on an ATV in the middle of nowhere, then it doesn't make a ton of sense. But yeah, so far it looks like insurance will be required regardless. Also, the new legislation would change classifications so that commercial flights wouldn't be treated differently than hobbyists. Yeah, so basically, if commercial flights are here and hobbyists are here, they're pretty much just taking all the flights and just going this way with it. There won't be much difference between commercial and hobbyist. More will depend on the size of your aircraft, what you're doing, and the risk in the area that you're flying in. And that also brings me to something that they've proposed called SAFE, which is Safety Assured Flight Envelope. Just the cat messing around, apparently. Which is really how safe is your aircraft, how many safety specifications can it meet, and when it meets different levels of safe, then it can operate in different risky situations, like operating over a crowd of people or over an open road where drivers don't know that the UAV is there. Another side note, they've considered just starting to call UAV RPAS, which is remotely piloted aerial system or something like that, instead of UAV, because unmanned aerial vehicle, feminism. So take the man out of it and call it an RPAS. Anyway, how do we feel about the proposed legislation changes? Well, the cool thing is, trusting the drones and the systems a little bit more will allow us to fly in more, you could say, risky situations. So if we could submit the drone to say it's safe within this spec, then can we please fly over a highway? Because I can't do that right now. Even if I want to go up, or even if I just want to cross the highway, I can't do it. I gotta come down, drive across the highway, and take off on the other side. Or like flying over an event, or flying near, like fireworks, or if it's a concert that somebody's hiring me to shoot. So these sorts of things, they're opening it up a little bit more to have kind of like a pilot's license situation, a little bit more like the States, where the state says you have Part 107 and you are a UAV pilot, so now you will do what is safe, instead of Transport Canada saying, here are all the rules you must follow and we will determine what is safe for you. So this is moving a little bit more towards, I think, opening things up and certifying the drones to be safe and allowing them to operate in more risky and unusual and complex situations that before you might not be able to, like downtown, let's say. So even a little drone like a Mavic or something, if it got certified to the right level of safe, you could almost fly over like an open road downtown kind of thing, assuming you're not going to like fly it into like an over road, like a downtown walkway. If as long as you don't fly it into something, then it might be legal to actually fly it there, which could be really cool. But of course, you're assuming that risk in doing that. So if you smash into a window and break the window, or if you tank it and hit a car and that car gets in an accident as a result, that's completely your fault, and you definitely have to have insurance for that. But at least we're getting the regulations out of the way to permit things like that to actually happen, for a pilot to assume that risk if they feel it's necessary, right? Like you can drive your car at 110 kilometers an hour because it's reasonably safe and you are assuming the risk for doing so. And if things get wacky, you have to react, or you have to deal with the consequences. And right now, drones are more like, you can't drive fast at all because that's unsafe and we're not sure if your car can go fast. Yeah, anyway, hopefully that's sort of an overview. We're not sure when Part 9 or the new regulations or SAFE will come into effect. Might be in a couple weeks, in a month. It might be as much as 6 months into 2019 when they will come out. I'm looking forward to them. I think they'll make good changes. It's just a little bit sketchy for people that have SOCs and that are operating under SOCs, because the method of our operation is going to change, and who knows if our drones will be marked as safe, and if the manufacturer will submit them as safe, then all of a sudden I can't fly our cinema drones in the city. That would be a big problem. So we're really banking on a grandfathering period for these new regulations where the SOCs are still valid into the new period while we adjust and certify and get our certifications. Final point before I go, you will have to have your drone marked and possibly registered. They will issue you a registration number. Who knows what it'll be, but they'll issue it to you and you'll have to put it on your craft. And I totally support that, because if you find it, if it's lost, if it gets into trouble, you don't know whose it is. It's really great to have them registered. And especially if you start to be in airspace and there are systems that can say, oh, that's this drone, that's that drone operated by these people. That really helps for integrating with aircraft and airports. And that's really fantastic, because eventually as the airspace gets more crowded and we have more drones and autonomous things going on and recreational flyers and commercial flyers like myself, you want to have the different parties to be able to liaise and talk to one another, and operate safely and really know who's there. You don't want to just have a rando drone with no communication, no registration, no warning, and then you don't know if it's safe. And so the big thing here is building this industry and growing it while also keeping it manageable and reasonable, and not increasing the amount of risk where drones are just falling on people and running into things, and who knows, don't take your car out because a drone might fall on it and smash the window. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully that answers your question.